Hello guys, and welcome to another Red Life Studio episode. Please subscribe and give me a like, and share my videos if you're enjoying them. Also, feel free to leave me a comment below. Now let's begin with today's stories.
Just found out my wife has been cheating on me for the past year. I've been suspecting her of something for a few months now because she's been telling weird little white lies. She's been super protective of her phone, and even when I've been having sex the past year, something just feels off. Well, I caught her. Her sister logged into Facebook Messenger in my phone and forgot to log out. I went through their messages, and what I found disgusted me. Luckily no pictures, but the way she was talking about these guys was so disgusting to me. And it's not even just one guy. From what I could see from the messages with her sister over the past year, she's had sex with at least 3 or 4 other guys. I suspect it's more though, and one of them she was seeing regularly for 3 months while I was gone, but apparently doesn't talk to him anymore. Most recently she had sex with some dude at a hotel about 2 weeks ago. I called one of my good friends and he said I should try and gather my emotions and confront her once I'm ready and work through it, but I don't know if I can. When I look at her, I just feel empty. When she touches me and hugs me, I feel an anger and resentment deep down inside. I literally just feel numb. She was my first serious relationship, and we have been together for 3 years, and I don't think I can do it anymore. I feel trapped in my own house. I gathered tons of screenshots and saved them somewhere she would never find them before I logged out of her sister's account. Update. So as the title states, my wife was cheating on me for the past year, at least that I know of. I was going to wait until October to confront her because she is a key witness in a court case I have coming up, but it was literally eating me alive. I had called my dad and talked to him about it, and he brought up a good point. She had made a written statement under oath about what had happened already. So upon realizing that, I decided it was finally time to confront her. It had only been a week since I had found out that I decided to confront her, but it was honestly one of the most uncomfortable weeks of my life. Every time I looked at her, I felt angry. Every smile I made towards her was forced and faked. Going to bed at night with her made me feel cold and empty, and worst of all, having sex with her made me feel completely and utterly disgusted with myself. I had only done it like once or twice and then made an excuse every single time after that to not have sex with her. I was literally dying on the inside. The morning of the day I confronted her, she actually accused me of cheating on her, and all I could do was look at her and burst out into a fit of hysterical laughter because of how ironic the situation was. It did nothing to help my case, but I left my house for a good 45 minutes to make some phone calls. That's when I called my father and decided now was the time. After calling my father, I had decided to contact my wife's sister because back in October she had tried to get a hold of me about something important she had to tell me about my wife. Back then I had thought it was just some dumb bullshit because she's a notorious liar and thief, but after what I had seen, I had thought that perhaps it was genuine. After contacting her, she actually warned my wife. So my wife called me and I told her I would be home shortly to confront her. I pulled up into my driveway, slipped an audio record into my pocket and turned video recording on my phone and put that into my breast pocket, then walked inside to confront her. I was cool, calm and collected, but on the inside I had no idea what to expect. This woman that I had been with for years had turned into a completely different person in the past 6 months. I had confronted her by saying, "How long have you been cheating on me? How many people have you cheated on me with, and why did you do it?" She tried playing dumb at first, but then I started quoting things she said in messages to her sister, and naming off some of the guys she had cheated on me with, and her mood instantly changed, and I saw the tears started to well up in her eyes. I asked her again, and she refused to answer until I told her how I found it out, so I told her about how I had went through her and her sister's messages. She instantly started crying, and I still don't believe half the things she told me. She said it had only been with 2 guys, but the messages I saw suggest it has at least been 3 or 4 different men. She also said she had not cheated on me since March, which I called her bullshit on because there was a message about how she met up with a guy at a hotel literally days before my birthday. Her reasoning for doing it was probably one of the worst excuses I have ever heard. She told me she was afraid of moving so far from home and did it out of weakness, and her second reason was because she had not been with someone sexually prior to me. I told her those were the dumbest excuses I ever heard and that we would be getting a divorce, and she broke down and started bawling her eyes out and begging me to stay and that she couldn't lose me. I didn't cry, I didn't yell at her, I didn't call her any names. I just stared at her as she cried, absolutely disgusted with the woman she had become. I explained to her that there was nothing she could do, we were going to be getting a divorce, and that I would let her stay at my house for 1 to 2 months while she saved money to move. That lasted for about 10 days, then I told her she needed to leave because I couldn't stand the sight of her anymore, and she went to her friend's house. The separation was cordial at first, but then she started doing things that absolutely pissed me off. She would call my phone late into the night when she would know I would be sleeping to wake me up. She ended up developing this elaborate story that painted me as the bad guy, saying that I only married her to get extra money, and this was my plan all along, to marry her and divorce her once she was useless to me. She showed up one time at 1 in the morning to fetch her things when I had been offering to bring her things to her all damn day. After that incident, I changed all the locks on the house. But what pissed me off the most was she demanded me to sign over one of my 2 cars in a separations agreement, both of which I had worked extremely hard to pay cash for. She insisted she needed a car to survive, that she was entitled to a car since I had originally bought it for her, that she deserved the car even though I had paid for everything the past year of the relationship, and that she wasn't going to do any paperwork without me giving her the car. Out of anger, I let it drag on for a few weeks before speaking with someone about it. He explained to me that losing this $2,500 car would be worth it in the long run, especially since I have a sizable chunk of equity in my house that she isn't interested in, and she was also willing to waive all rights to alimony and post-separation support. The only reason I didn't want to sign the car over, even though it would be the financially responsible thing to do considering how much she was willing to lose for it, was because I had too much emotion and anger into it, and I had to take the anger out. I decided his advice was right, and now we have an appointment in a few weeks to sign the separations agreement. All she is getting from me is a car, and I'm getting everything else. Since leaving her, I've felt a lot of different emotions. I've been extremely angry and lonely. However, oddly enough, I haven't missed her at all and haven't even thought about any of the good times we had the month and a half we have been apart. My house is an absolute mess, and I've been too unmotivated to clean it more than 20 minutes at a time. I spend a lot of my free time just laying in bed staring at the ceiling and walls. I got rid of all of our cats and dogs. However, for the first time in a very long time, I feel free again, like I can do whatever I want. Finding out she was cheating on me was just the icing on the cake. She had become verbally abusive, got into the habit of coming home drunk multiple times a week and putting her hands on me when she was drunk, hadn't helped me pay for anything for nearly a year, and became extremely irresponsible and was constantly breaking things, losing things, and getting tickets that I had to pay for. So honestly, this is for the best. I'm not sure what will happen now or what I will do. Since leaving her, I've hooked up with multiple women I didn't even know for fun. One of them likes me a lot now, and she's a very nice and genuine girl, but I have no idea what to do. Went to clubs and bars for the first time, reconnected with old friends, and have attempted to get my life back on track. I don't plan to get married again for a very, very long time, if ever. I got married too young, and I've done so much growing up this year. From all I've been through, I sometimes feel disconnected from my peers, and I don't even want a committed long-term relationship for a while either. I made an appointment to see a counselor/therapist at the end of this month, cause not only am I dealing with a divorce, but I have heaps of other things going on in my life too. But I'm not sure if I need it. Edit, literally laughing at all the people that are mad at me for getting rid of my pets. I rehomed them all to other families. Stop assuming I killed them, psychos. I made an adult decision and realized I wasn't in a position to care for them any longer. After cutting things off with my wife, I no longer had the motivation, plus I had 4 large dogs and 2 cats, which was too much for one person, especially with as much as I work. And to add on, she agreed to take one of the dogs and both cats, then randomly called me one day saying she wasn't taking them anymore, thus dumping all the responsibility on me. TLDR, confronted my cheating wife, getting a divorce, learning how to be single again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.